I'm working overtime because I want to take my family on a nice vacation. Soon they get a call telling them I was killed in an accident. But hey, I'm wearing a busted harness here. And the company should have checked those tanks.
It's been an accident!
You have to determine, first of all, whether there is a third party who could be responsible, because if your client is injured by someone who works for his employer or by his employer's negligence, then that would be workers' compensation. So the kinds of cases I handle are cases against third parties. So you have to find out on a construction site who was responsible for the injury to your client. If it's another subcontractor or a contractor who your client is not employed by, then your client can bring a case in civil court against that subcontractor or that other party who caused him to be injured. I had a case at the water treatment plant here in Los Angeles where my client was running electrical cable in a basement area in that particular facility. It was a new facility, and his job was to run cable, so he was employed by an electrical company. He was not employed by the water treatment plant. As he was down in the basement running cable, there was a area there where they also were cutting pipe. Not his company, but another contractor was cutting plumbing type of pipe. And when you cut that type of pipe, you use an oil to lubricate the machine. The oil had leaked all over the floor, and the lighting was not the best lighting, so my client was down there pulling cable for his particular job, and he was backing up, pulling the cable, and he slipped. And again, that might sound silly, but he slipped and got a very bad knee injury, for which he had to have surgery, and he couldn't work for a year. And these are the kinds of cases where, often the people go on disability, but disability doesn't pay them much. So you have to make sure that you get them a substantial enough settlement that number one, will pay them for their injury and their surgery if they have to have one. Number two, will cover their lost earnings. And number three, any disability they might have in the future, because if they work in a kind of job that they need to bend or squat or climb stairs, climb ladders, something of that nature, you got to make sure that you're finding out whether or not they're going to have some kind of limitations which may shorten their career or may affect their ability to work in that particular career. And in that case, we were able to recover against both the water treatment plant and the company that was cutting the pipe. Many cases tend to be worked out that other attorneys would find unsettleable, and so many of these cases are even settled rather than go to trial.